Yes, listen. Listen. Evolution. So, what is evolution? Darwin called evolution as descent with modification. That is to evolve with modification. So, he called evolution as what? Descent with modification. Our universe was formed how many years ago? 20 billion years ago, is it not? And the study of universe is known as cosmology. Study of universe is known as cosmology. Study of origin of universe is known as hege universe originate agide. Study of origin of universe is known as cosmogeny. Origin of universe is known as cosmogeny, and the accepted theory for the formation of universe is, yes, the Big Bang theory, and this theory was proposed by Abe Lemaitre, right? The Big Bang theory this was proposed by Abe Lemaitre. Yes. And there was, according to this theory, there was an awesome thermonuclear explosion, and because of this explosion, universe, stars, galaxies were formed. Earth was formed 4.5 billion years ago, is it not? And when the earth was first formed, the earth was lifeless. There was no life on the earth. And life evolved 1 billion years after that, right? So when the earth was formed, then the temperature of the earth was very, very high. Yes, it was thousands of degrees Celsius. So the temperature of earth was very, very high. And all these molecules and gases and different types of molecules that we have today, they were present in the atomic state. Carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, all this was present in the free state, atomic state alli ittu. And as the temperature of the earth started decreasing, it didn't happen in 1 month, 2 months, no. It took millions of years. So as the temperature of the earth started decreasing, these elements, these atoms started reacting, right? And hydrogen being highly reactive, it combined with carbon forming methane, combined with nitrogen forming ammonia, combined with oxygen O, okay, forming water vapor. So all this was present in gaseous form, right? So once water vapor was formed, there was, what happened? There was heavy rainfall, right? There was heavy rainfall. Free molecular oxygen was not present, O2. This was not there in the atmosphere of prebiotic earth. Prebiotic earth untala, adra atmosphere alli O2 was not there. That is why prebiotic earth ಇದು atmosphere ಅನ್ನ reducing atmosphere ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು. Right? This atmosphere is known as, yes, reducing atmosphere. ಯಾಕೆ reducing students? O2 was not present. O was there, but there was no O2. The present day atmosphere, ಇವತ್ತಿನ atmosphere ಅನ್ನ oxidizing atmosphere ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು, because O2 is present. Right? So after this, you know, the temperature of the earth after millions of years slowly decreased, and different forms of life, you know, started appearing on the earth. So there are certain theories which explains how life originated on earth. ಹೇಗೆ earth ಮೇಲೆ life ಬಂತು ಅಂತ explain ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ there are a certain theories. Now the first theory is the theory of special creation. Heard about this theory? Theory of special creation. Now this theory was proposed by Hebreve, and the greatest supporter of this theory was Father Soros. Right? Hebreve, you know, proposed this theory, and the supporter of this theory was Father Soros. Now what does this theory say, students? Theory of special creation. What does it say? No. God created life on earth. This theory says that God created life on earth. So according to, you know, according to Bible, God created earth in 7 days, right? Created earth and different forms of life on earth in 7 days. And on the 7th day, he created the first man. So according to Bible, who is the first man? Adam, and from his ribs, Eve evolved. So she is the first woman, right? According to our Bhagavad Gita, what does this say? Who created the earth and the different forms of life on earth? God, Brahma, right? And according to Bhagavad Gita, the first man is Manu, and the first woman is Shraddha. Yes, Shraddha. Do we have Shraddha in this class? Yes. No? So God created life on earth. Now is this theory accepted? No. You all don't believe in God? You believe, but still you don't believe that God created earth and different forms of life on earth. So this theory is not proved, but is this theory disproved? Can you disprove this theory? No. So this theory is neither proved nor, yes, you cannot even disprove this theory, because you know there are so many things that happen in nature which does not have any scientific reasons. So this theory can neither be proved nor this theory can be disproved. Yes. The next theory, the second theory, is the theory of panspermia. Theory of panspermia or cosmozoic theory. Theory of panspermia or cosmozoic theory. Now this theory was proposed by Richter. proposed by Richter, and the greatest supporter of this theory was Arrhenius. Arrhenius supported this theory. Now what is this theory? Now this theory says that life came to Earth from a distant planet. ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಲೈಫ್ ಬಂದದು ಅರ್ತ್ ಮೇಲೆ? ಎಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಕೇಮ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಅ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ಲಾನೆಟ್. ಹೇಗೆ? ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲಾನೆಟ್ ಇಂದ ಲೈಫ್ ಅರ್ತ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದದು. ಹೇಗೆ ಬಂತು? Did it jump from some other planet to Earth? No. Then how did it reach here? Meteorites, right? ಬೇರೆ ಪ್ಲಾನೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಸ್, ದಿಸ್ ಥಿಯರಿ ಸೇಸ್ ದಟ್ in other planets spores were present. Now these spores got deposited on the meteoroids, and when this meteoroid came and struck the earth, when it came and hit the earth, what happened? The spores, live spores, got released on the earth mele live spores release aitu, and from these spores different forms of life came on earth, right? Yes. So hege bantu? From, yes, the life came to earth from a distant planet. Now is this theory accepted? No. Is this why is it not accepted? Why is it not accepted? So according to the present day studies, what does it say? There is no life on any other planet other than the earth. Alva? You know, people must have seen spaceships. They must have heard, they must have experienced aliens, but as such there is no proof that life exists on any other planet other than the earth, right? Yes. The third theory is the theory of abiogenesis, or the theory of spontaneous generation. Third one, theory of abiogenesis, or the theory of spontaneous generation. Now what does this theory say? Theory of spontaneous generation. What does it say? Now this theory says that life originated from non-living things. Non-living things produced living organism. This is what this theory says, right? A shirt that has got sweat in it and that is dirty, which is when kept inside the cupboard and when it is left as such untouched, it could produce rats. So it has to be kept in the cupboard for few days and it could produce rats anta heltade, right? Moist mud can produce snakes, frogs, fishes anna produce ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತದೆ ಈ ಥಿಯರಿ. So non-living thing can give rise to living organism, and the greatest supporter of this theory is or was Aristotle, right? Greatest supporter ಈ ಥಿಯರಿದು ಯಾರು? Aristotle ಅವರು. Yes. He too believed that living organism came from non-living thing. So a non-living thing can give rise to living organism in the presence of 4 vital forces. ಒಂದು non-living thing living organism ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇದ್ರೆ 4 vital forces ಗಳು ಇರಬೇಕು. And those 4 vital forces, ಈ 4 vital forces ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು vital force ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಸಾಕು. And the vital forces include air, water, earth and fire. ಸೊ ಈ ನಾಲ್ಕರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ವೈಟಲ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಾನ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್. ಎಸ್, ಬಟ್ ಫ್ಯೂ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದೋಸ್ ಡೇಸ್ they could not digest this. A non-living thing giving rise to living organism. This they could not digest. So they conducted several experiments to disprove the theory of abiogenesis. And the first experiment was done by Francisco Redi. Redi's experiment this is. So the first experiment was done by, yes, Francisco Redi, right? So Redi, in his experiment, what he did was he took beakers, right? He took beakers like this, and inside the beaker he placed meat. ಏನನ್ನ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಇವರು? ಎಸ್, he placed meat inside the beaker, right? Now the first two beakers were kept open and the third beaker was closed. It was closed, right? Yes, and this setup was left as such for few days. So after few days, what they observed was the meat that was kept in the first two beakers contained maggots. What is maggot? The small worms. So ಈ first two beaker ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ meat ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂತ ಇತ್ತು? Maggots were present, right? So ಅದೇ third beaker ಇದು meat ಅಲ್ಲಿ maggots ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. So he concluded by saying that since the first two beakers were open, insects entered into the beaker, laid their eggs on the meat, and these eggs hatched and produced maggots. Ade ಮೂರನೇ ಬೇಕರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿರುವ meat ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, this third beaker was kept closed. So what happened? Insects could not enter inside, and that's why maggots irlilla idralli, right? Adre this experiment was not accepted. Ee experiment accept aglilla. Yakandre third beaker alliruva meat alli maggots irlilla. Agreed. ಆದರೆ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್, ಆವಾಗ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ವೇರ್ discovered. So microorganisms were present in the meat. So what happened? They concluded, the critics said that maybe maggots illa meat alli, adre microorganism is present. So meat produced microorganism, non-living thing produced living organism, right? When the meat was heated and kept, heated meat alli microorganism was also not present. Okay, so but then Reddy avara experiment anna accept madlilla. The next experiment to disprove the theory of abiogenesis was proposed by Lazzaro Spallanzani. Heard about Spallanzani? So the next experiment was done by Lazzaro Spallanzani. So ಈ Lazzaro Spallanzani ಅವರು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ he took a round bottom flask, right? He took a round bottom flask and then he filled this flask with broth. ಏನು fill ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಇದರ ಒಳಗಡೆ broth is a sugar solution, and this is an ideal solution for the growth of microorganism, right? The solution could produce microorganism. So this is an ideal solution for growing microorganism. So after taking broth, he heated. ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು? ಫ್ಲಾಸ್ಕ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, right? To kill all the microorganisms present in the broth. And after heating it, he sealed the neck of the flask. And this setup was left as such for few days. This setup anna hage bitru few days ige. And after few days, you know, when the flask was opened, flask anna iವರು open ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ what was observed? Was there microorganism in the broth? There was no microorganism in the broth. So Spallanzani concluded by telling that non-living thing or a broth could not produce living organism. Again, his experiment was not accepted. So why was it not accepted? ಯಾಕೆ accept ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ? What did they say? What does the theory of abiogenesis says? Non-living thing can produce living organism in the presence of 4 vital forces. And inside the flask, these 4 vital forces, ಒಂದು vital force ಕೂಡ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. So that is the reason why non-living thing could not produce living organism. Yes. ಇವರ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಲೂಯಿಸ್ ಪಾಶ್ಚರ್ ಅವರು. Yes. So his experiment was continued by Louis Pasteur. So he continued this experiment. He took a flask. He took broth in the flask, right? Heated the flask, killed all the microorganism, and the flask, the neck of the flask was connected to a S-shaped trap. Neck of the flask was connected to a S-shaped trap. So this experiment is known as swan-necked experiment. ಈ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ, yes, it is known as swan-necked experiment, right? Now this trap allowed air to enter. ಫ್ಲಾಸ್ಕ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏರ್ ಕುಡ್ ಎಂಟರ್, ಆದರೆ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಕುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎಂಟರ್. ಸೊ ವೈಟಲ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಎಂಟರ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಆದರೆ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಎಂಟರ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸೆಟಪ್ ವಾಸ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಸಚ್ ಫಾರ್ ಫ್ಯೂ ಡೇಸ್. ಅಂಡ್ ವೆನ್ ದ trap was broken and when the broth was analyzed, what did they see? Was there any microorganism in the broth? No. So microorganism irlilla broth alli. And through this, you know, Louis Pasteur once and for all disproved the theory of abiogenesis. ಇವರು abiogenesis ಥಿಯರಿಯನ್ನು ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು and he proposed the theory of biogenesis. Abiogenesis theory was disproved. ಯಾರು ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು abiogenesis ಥಿಯರಿಯನ್ನ? ಲೂಯಿಸ್ ಪಾಶ್ಚರ್ ಅವರು. and he proposed the theory of biogenesis. Yes. Now this theory, what does this theory say? Theory of biogenesis. Life is formed from pre-existing life, right? A new life is formed from the life that was present earlier. So life is formed from pre-existing life. Yes. So that is the theory of biogenesis, right? The next theory is the chemical evolution theory. Remember studying this theory, students? Chemical evolution theory. Yes? Who proposed this theory? No. Chemical evolution theory was proposed by Alexander I. Oparin ಮತ್ತೆ JBS ಹಾಲ್ಡೇನ್ ಅವರು. Alexander I. Oparin ಮತ್ತೆ JBS ಹಾಲ್ಡೇನ್. Right? Now what does this theory say? Chemical evolution theory ಏನನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತದೆ? Life is formed from simple chemicals. Is this accepted theory? Yes, till date, till today, this is the accepted theory. Life has come on earth from simple chemicals, right? So simple inorganic compounds produced simple organic compounds. Simple organic compounds produced complex organic compounds, and complex organic compounds produced the first form of life on earth. I hope you remember this theory, right? So when the earth was formed, 4.5 billion years ago, the temperature was very high, right? Water vapor formed. When the temperature reduced, water vapor formed, molecules were formed, right? It resulted in heavy rainfall, right? And since the earth was very hot, as the rainwater touched the earth's surface, what happened? The water got evaporated, resulted in the formation of clouds, and again it rained. And this went on for millions of years. And because of heavy rainfall, slowly the temperature of the earth decreased. ಈ ಹೆವಿ rainfall ಇಂದಾಗಿ it went on for millions of years ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ. So ಈ heavy rainfall ಇಂದಾಗಿ what happened? The temperature of the earth further reduced, and water started getting collected in the depressions that were present on the surface of earth surface ಮೇಲೆ ಇರುವ depressions ಅಲ್ಲಿ what got collected, and this resulted in the formation of oceans, rivers, right? And this water was very very hot. ಈ water ಉಂಟಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಬಿಸಿ ಇತ್ತು, and in this water chemicals were present, right? Along with the rain water, the molecules that were present on the atmosphere came down. Earth crust ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಮಿನರಲ್ಸ್ ಗಳಿತ್ತು, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಈ ನೀರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು, and this water was called hot dilute soup. ಈ ನೀರನ್ನ ಏನಂತ ಕರೆದ್ರು? hot dilute soup ಅಂತ ಕರೆದ್ರು, and this was called by JBS Haldane. So JBS Haldane called this water as hot dilute soup. And in this water what happened? Chemical reaction started, right? And the energy that was required for chemical reaction, from where did this energy come? Energy ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಂತು? ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇದ್ರೆ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? Now from where did the energy come? UV rays, okay. Then volcanic eruptions. Those days no volcanoes erupted, that provided energy, and also lightning. There was heavy rainfall anta helide, and because of rainfall there was lightning, and this provided the energy that was required for chemical reaction, right? So simple chemicals like methane, ammonia, right, water reacted and formed simple organic compounds like amino acids, sugar, right? Purines, pyrimidines, fatty acid, glycerol, simple organic compounds were formed. And these simple organic compounds further reacted and gave rise to complex organic compounds like polysaccharides, proteins, lipids, nucleosides, nucleotides. Yes, complex organic compounds form ಆಯಿತು. And from these complex organic compounds, colloidal aggregates were formed. What was formed? Yes, colloidal aggregates were formed. And these colloidal aggregates are called coacerates. ಈ colloidal aggregates ಅನ್ನ ಎಂತ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು? coacerates ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು. And from these coacerate, the first form of life came on earth. And this first form of life is known as the protobiont, or it is called the ebiont. Protobiont, or yes, ebiont. So the first form of life evolved in marine water. Remember this. First form of life elli evolve ಆದದ್ದು marine water ಅಲ್ಲಿ, and the first form of life was a animal life. It was not a plant life, right? The first form of life was an animal life. Yes. ಈ chemical evolution theory ಅನ್ನ prove ಮಾಡಿದವರು ಯಾರು? Two scientists proved this theory. Who were they? Stanley L. Miller ಮತ್ತೆ Harold C. Urey ಅವರು. You must have studied Miller's experiment. Remember studying? Yes, okay. So chemical evolution theory was proved by two scientists. They were Stanley L. Miller ಮತ್ತೆ Harold C. Urey. So this experiment is known as Miller's experiment. So they had started with simple chemicals like methane, ammonia, hydrogen and water vapor, right? And at the end of the experiment they had got amino acids. So this, proves the chemical evolution theory. Yes. Next, what else have you all studied here? You all have studied different theories that says how evolution has occurred, right? Now the first theory is Lamarckism. ನೆನ್ಪುಂಟ ಓದಿರೋದು Lamarckism. Lamarckism ಅನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಯೂಸ್ ಥಿಯರಿ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಯೂಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಯೂಸ್ theory, or this theory is also known as theory of inheritance. Theory of inheritance of acquired characters. Theory of inheritance of acquired character. That is, whatever you acquire during your lifetime, ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಅಕ್ವೈರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಲೈಫ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದನ್ನು ನೀವು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಜನರೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಪಾಸ್ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಥಿಯೋರಿ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಹೆರಿಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನು ಪ್ರಪೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದವರು ಯಾರು? ಲೆಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಅವರು, ಜೀನ್ ಬಾಪ್ಟಿಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿ ಲೆಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಅನ್ನುವ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್. And about this theory he had written in a book. About this theory, he had written in his book. The name of the book is Philosophic Zoologic. philosophic zoologic. So this was the book written by Lamarck, right? So few examples you must have studied here, right, for use and disuse theory, or for the inheritance of acquired character. So which are they? One is, giraffe. Giraffe, in the olden days, giraffe had short neck and it used to feed on the grass that was present on the earth. And one fine day what happened, all the grasses got over. And now the giraffe had to eat the leaves that were present on the tree. And for this it had to continuously stretch its neck. Adra neck annadu stretch ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಯಿತು. And continuous stretching of the neck resulted in elongation of the neck. So the neck got elongated. So ಇದನ್ನ acquire ಮಾಡಿತ್ತು ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅದರ ಲೈಫ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅದು acquire ಮಾಡಿತ್ತು, and this character was passed on to the next generation. So that is the reason why the present day giraffe all have long neck, right? One more example he gave was of aquatic birds. The aquatic birds galu, they never used their wings for flying. So what happened to their wings? Slowly, it became vestigial and they stopped flying. The feet of aquatic birds, they used their feet for swimming. Aquatic birds galu avugala feet anna swimming ಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವು. So continuous use of their feet for swimming resulted in the formation of web between the digits. Digits ಗಳ ನಡುವೆ what was formed? Web was formed. Right? So what happened? The leg got modified for swimming. Snakes. This theory also says the snakes of olden days had limbs ittu, right? But they did not use their limbs, they used to crawl on the ground, and since they did not use their limbs, what happened? The limbs, right? What happened to it? It got disappeared, and this character snakes passed it to the next generation. That is why the present day snakes do not have limbs. Yes. So all these things, one scientist could not accept this. Idannella Augustin Weismann ಅನ್ನುವ scientist ಇದ್ದಾರಲ್ಲ, he could not accept all these things that was said by Lamarck, right? ಸೊ ಇವರು ಒಂದು ಥಿಯರಿ ಮೇಲೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಈ ಥಿಯರಿಯನ್ನ ಜರ್ಮ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್ ಥಿಯರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು. ಥಿಯರಿ ಆಫ್ ಜರ್ಮ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್. ಆಗಸ್ಟಿನ್ ವೀಸ್ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಅನ್ನುವ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್, ಹಿ ವರ್ಕ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ಜರ್ಮ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್ ಥಿಯರಿ. Germ plasm theory. So, he conducted one experiment to disprove Lamarck. So, what he did was, yes, he took the mice, he measured the length of the tail idu length anna measure madidru, aa nantra aa mice idu tail anna cut madidru. Yes. Anantra, it was allowed to breed. Right? What did he say? Lamarck ಏನನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು? Whatever character you acquire, you inherit. So, the mice has acquired this character. ಅದರ tail ಅನ್ನ cut ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? So, that means ಆ character ಅನ್ನ ಅದು ಅದರ next generation ಗೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. But the mice that were born in the next generation, they all had tails, and the length of the tail was same as that of the previous generation, right? So, ಇದನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಜನರೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಇವರು ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಹಿ ಡಿಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಫಾರ್ 13 ಜನರೇಷನ್ಸ್. 13 ಜನರೇಷನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದರು. ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ ಮೈಸ್ದು ಟೇಲನ್ನು ಪುನಃ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಅಗೇನ್ ಅಲಾವಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಟು ಬ್ರೀಡ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಮೆಷರಿಂಗ್ ದ ಲೆಂತ್, ಅಗೇನ್ ಕಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರಿಪೀಟಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಫಾರ್ 13 ಜನರೇಷನ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ 13th ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಇದು ಮೈಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಟೇಲ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಲೆಂತ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಟೇಲ್ ವಾಸ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಆಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್, the length of the tail that was there in the first generation, right? So he tried to disprove the theory of use and disuse, right? What he says is, Wiesmann ಅವರು ಏನು ಹೇಳೋದಂದ್ರೆ, any change in the germ cells, which are the germ cells? Sperm in case of male, egg in case of female. So ಈ germ cells ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆದರೆ only those changes are passed on to the next generation. Somatic cells ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆದರೆ can it be passed, students, to the next generation? ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ಕೊಡೋದು? germ cells ಅನ್ನ, germ cells ಅಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಕ್ರೋಮೋಸೋಮ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡೋದು ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊಮ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಕ್ರೋಮೋಸೋಮ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? ದಿಸ್ ಪಿಯರ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಯರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೋಸ್, ಗರ್ಲ್ಸ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಬಾರ್ನ್ ಅವರ ಕಿವಿ ಮತ್ತು ನೋಸನ್ನು ಪಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಡನ್ ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಜನರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಜನರೇಷನ್ಸಿಂದ ಇದು ನಡೀತಾನೇ ಇದೆ, ಪಿಯರ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಯರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೋಸ್. ಇಂಥ ಲೇಡೀಸಿಗೆ ಹುಟ್ಟುವಂಥ ಮಗು, is it born with pierced ear and nose? No, right? After it is born, its ear and nose has to be pierced, right? So use and disuse theory or theory of inheritance of acquired character, is it true here? No. These days, males having triceps, biceps is fashion. Everybody goes to the gym and tries to have six packs, triceps, biceps,